Everyone has to start somewhere, and even the most successful and respected actors that you really admire, were in the same position early in their career. And there's no right path, you know? Some performers get started in acting and seem to flourish and succeed without even breaking a sweat. They just get started in acting right away. And others, well, take a long time to build up the momentum and the experience needed to get into the industry. But if you're just beginning, I really do know it can be daunting and really hard to know exactly how to get started in acting. Especially if you haven't got any contacts or friends or family that have any knowledge of the industry. If that sounds like you, then I'm really pleased that you've found this video. It's going to help you kickstart your acting career by giving you a 5-point step-by-step guide to the most important things that you can do to get started in acting in the right way. Hey, I'm David and welcome to 5 Minute Acting Coach, your complete online guide to acting training wherever you're at. If you're watching this video and you're wondering if you can achieve your dream, then you absolutely can. You need the tools and the techniques that you already have inside you. Determination, creativity, adaptability, and courage. And at the end of this video, I'll also give you a link to a great book that goes into a huge amount of really practical detail about how to become a successful actor so that you can dig down into more detail in your own time. Step number 1, go and see live theatre. When you're looking to get started in acting, it's tempting to think about finding as many performing opportunities as you possibly can, as quickly as you possibly can. After all, acting is performing, right? Well, yes and no. We're talking about a career decision here, not a hobby. So one way of getting started, and a way that will inform and inspire you, is by going and experiencing as much live theatre as you possibly can. You need to have those experiences of being in the auditorium as the lights go down, of watching experienced actors take an audience on a journey, and of observing the way those actors use technique, even if you're not quite sure what those techniques are. How do they communicate meaning to you? How do they use their voices? How do they inhabit a physical character? How do the chorus elements work? How do the performers and the design elements combine to tell a story? How do the performers work together to create contrast, tension, humour, conflict, or sympathy? You can't get the same understanding from watching a movie or sitting in front of the TV. You need to be in that collaborative space, experiencing the skills that a professional performer is sharing with you. You know, it doesn't need to be an expensive ticket. You can be in the back row or at the top of the dress circle, you know, it doesn't really matter. And also the type of performance and the standard of the performance, well, that's not too important either. You can go and see some amateur or community theatre in your local town, or you can go and see a school play, right through to regional and mainstream theatres in big cities with big well-known performers. Go and see new plays, classics, musicals, cheesy comedies, avant-garde devised work, or even traditional thrillers. The thing is, you need to immerse yourself. If you don't, you won't really know if this is the right path for you to follow. But if you do, you'll gather a huge wealth of emotional, practical and visual experiences that will stay with you and inspire your own work. Step number 2, start local and grow. So the next step really on your acting journey to get started is probably the most obvious, but it's something that many people overlook. And too often, potential actors want to get straight into the fame and the fortune, and they kind of neglect the role that local preparatory work plays in defining your ambitions and in defining, I guess, your own value to yourself as a performer. So get involved with as much local theatre and film production work as you possibly can. Now, this could be amateur and youth theatre groups who are staging plays in local theatres or community spaces. But equally, it could be getting involved in theatre through clubs at your school or college, or even getting involved with things like local amateur radio or filmmaking groups. From there, you can head out to more regional or national groups by getting involved with contests or drama competitions or festivals, or even entering film competitions, even if you're just working solo. Connecting with like-minded creatives in your area and beyond is a great way to get started in acting. After all, these people are going to be the pool from which your contemporaries in the profession are gathered in the years to come. And some of the contacts and friendships that you make here will be invaluable in the future. Working at a local level will also give you two other valuable pieces of advice that will inform your decision making. Firstly, it will give you a sense of the potential of your talent and your capability. No one is suggesting that you'll be anything like a fully formed actor at this stage, but you'll be able to judge yourself against those around you and gather some peer and audience feedback that will help you understand if you have the roots of a skill that could sustain you through a career. Secondly, you'll learn whether the actor performance is something that inspires and fulfills you, and if it does, you'll know. If being on stage feels like being home, then you'll feel that and you'll get some confirmation that you're on the right track. If it just scares you or feeds your anxiety or your insecurity, then that's not a good sign, and maybe you're going to want to think again. Step number 3, make your own work. So you're seeing lots of theatre and you've spent time performing with groups and organisations at a local level, and well, by now you're pretty confident that you want to go to the next step and get started in acting, and that means making your own work. Now you might think that the next thing for a committed potential actor to do would be to train, but I think that this next important step is too valuable to skip. That's because when you take responsibility for making your own work, you gain a tremendous understanding, albeit in a fairly limited way, of the wider demands of the profession and of the kinds of strategies that professional actors have to use every single day. Now, you could make your own work in a whole number of different ways. Get together with some like-minded peers and just stage a play reading, for example. You might go a step further and see if a local pub or a community centre or a venue would be able to cheaply stage your performance. It doesn't need to be an original play, although of course it could be. It could be, well, it could be any play at all, but ideally one that inspires and invigorates your creativity. More than this, you could enter a play performance into a competition or create a piece of theatre and education and see if a local school maybe would be interested in having you visit. If you really wanted to, it would be an ideal opportunity to network with the local theatre community and see if you could use their resources to stage the work you're keen to produce. Arts centres and theatres often run scratch or work-in-progress events where artists who are looking to get started in acting can present their work in an unfinished state to a paying audience. And that can be a great way to get feedback as well as to raise your profile in a safe environment. In particular, if you're running solo, then producing your own work can be daunting, but it is certainly achievable. Whether you're performing a monologue in a festival or performing a solo show in a fringe theatre, entering a film festival, or, well, just posting your acting on YouTube. It's such a valuable process because beyond the value and benefit of what you would learn and experience as a performer, well, you're able to experience a whole range of other production skills, all of which have got a place in the life and the toolbox of a professional actor. You'll need to coordinate budgets, rights and insurance. You'll need to manage and produce publicity and run events management at a venue, especially if you're producing work from scratch. You'll also need to make decisions about design. You'll need to hold production meetings. You'll need to schedule, fund and plan rehearsals. And if that weren't enough, on top of all that comes the creative process itself, which is a significant one when you're charged with the responsibility of a bigger artistic vision. All of these experiences and the skills and awareness gained give you a much better understanding of what the multidisciplinary life of an actor really looks like. Hey, if you're getting some value from this video and you can see yourself using some of the techniques, then please do like and subscribe so that more actors can find us on YouTube and join the family. Step number 4, go pro with what you know. Now, I mentioned earlier that there's not a traditional route through the industry, and that's absolutely true. Depending on your contacts, your personality, your age and your experience, well, you might just decide to launch into the industry and go for it, even though you don't have any specific credentials as an actor. Lots of the following examples are based in the UK, but there are examples of these kinds of organisations all over the world, and it doesn't take too long to look them up. I've put links to everything I mention in the video down below because, well, even if you're planning to go on and train, working with agencies like this and gaining experience of working on a set are a real bonus. And what's more, they set you up exceptionally well to stand out amongst your peers. Experiences within the industry are also, well, they're exceptionally valuable when it comes to affirming your commitment to an acting career. Simply put, there are 3 different paths that you could follow when you're trying to get started in acting and you're looking to head straight into the industry. I haven't included finding an agent here, as other than in really exceptional circumstances, that's not really a first step or a way to get started. One of the first things to do then is to sign up with a showreel and directory or promotional service where you can advertise yourself and you can be sure that people will find your information. Subscription agencies like Spotlight are the most famous examples of these, but you could also check out newer services like Flare-Box. It costs a little to upload your details and you'll need to judge if it's worth it for you, but you can get some great results, especially if you've got lots of experience from steps 2 and 3 to include on your virtual CV. The second route is to register with some extras agencies. Now, extras are always in demand for film and television work, and if you're flexible, if you're willing to travel and you're happy to work on a range of projects, it's a wonderful way to get used to the industry. So organisations like Extra People or Casting Collective can be great places to start this aspect of your career. Last of all, you might want to consider signing up with casting services, and these are sites where you can find out about the latest casting opportunities and apply directly. Now, the Stage has a wide range of casting listings for both stage and screen, while websites like Mandy and Backstage.com and Project Casting are all good choices. Step number 5, training beats complaining. So the last step of all on the list is probably the one that most people think of as the first step, but I've purposely left it to last, as actually it's only really relevant if you've been through all of those previous experiences. If you're looking for a professional training that will prepare you fully for the industry, then you're going to want to pick a course at an accredited institution. Now, in the UK, that's going to be a member of the Federation of Drama Schools, which basically means institutions like ALRA or RADA or the GSA. Check out all their websites and see what kind of modules or approaches suit you best. And you can check out my guide to making the right choice between drama school or university right here. Now, whichever route you choose to get started in acting, the most important thing is to be as informed as you can be, Take every opportunity you're given and keep on finding ways to express your creativity in a way that fulfills you. You know, you don't have to take these steps in order, but I really believe that if you do, you'll get the most out of your experiences and you'll be much more likely to make the right choice, whatever that means for you. If you do want to dig down a little deeper and explore ways to start out on your acting journey, I can absolutely recommend this book here. So You Want to Be an Actor? It's by Prunella Scales and Timothy West, and it's written by two extremely successful and respected actors, and it's packed full of valuable tips straight from the horse's mouth. In particular, I would advise you to check out the sections on preparation, practice and perseverance, where there's a great focus on making all the right choices for a great acting training and how to keep working successfully. It's a clear and simple introduction to the industry, and I would really recommend, if you're ready to get started in acting, then this is a great book to pick up. You can click the link in the description below to pick up a copy for a really great price. So that was my rundown on the 5 most important and effective ways to get started as an actor. Thank you very much indeed for watching. If you've got time to like and subscribe, that'll be amazing. And do leave some comments and let me know if these strategies are working for you or if there are other videos you'd like to see on the 5 Minute Acting Coach channel. Last of all, do feel free to head on over to 5minuteactingcoach.com for more great free resources or to organise some one-to-one online coaching sessions. Okay, good luck out there, and I'll see you next time.